Welcome to my class in continuation with Unit 3, that is statistical methods, statistical tools and their interpretation. We're at the tail end of our syllabus. Now we are with index numbers, and in index numbers we are doing the consumer price index. And in the last class we talked about a numerical. With a numerical we worked out the consumer price index, and we used the aggregative expenditure method. So remember, when we did the weighted index numbers, we had two methods. One was the weighted aggregative method, and the second was the weighted average of price relatives. That's exactly what we are doing now. So we're going to do the family expenditure method. This is what is family budget method, that is. And before we go on, let me just tell you once again, let me reiterate that what is the consumer price index, or what does an index number after all reflect? It just tells us it's an average. It shows the average increase in the cost of the commodities consumed, okay, by a class of people, so that they can maintain the same standard of living in the current year as in the base year. So this is one numerical. With this numerical, we solve this numerical with the aggregative expenditure method, and now we are taken the same numerical, that is a monthly per capita expenditure incurred by workers of an industrial group during 2001 and 2015 on the following items are given below. So price in the base year is given here, price in the current year, that is 2015, is given here, and the weights are 75, 10, 5, 6 and 4, which is written out here. And respectively, prepare a weighted index number of cost of living for 2015 with 2001 as base. Now we are going to use the family budget method. Can you see that? Family budget method for consumer price index, or the cost of living index as it's known as, will be summation of all the relatives into the weights divided by summation of all the weights. And what is a price relative? Price relative is current year price upon base year price into 100, and W stands for weights. Alright. So before we go on, just let me tell you that when we are talking about the family budget method, we must work out, first step is that price relatives are calculated for each commodity. Okay, and that's how we do it. And then, and of course we find out the price relative of each item, and then we multiply the price relatives by the weights, that is R into W, and then the product is divided by the sum of weights. Whatever we get, then we divide it by, that is sigma R into W divided by sigma W. Now we should make a note that the methods of constructing the index numbers weighted should more or less give the same result, but sometimes it does. So that's why we write approximately. So sometimes indices are also given in place of price relatives. So for the solution of the question, there is no difference between indices and price relatives. It comes to the same. Therefore, instead of R, then use I. Therefore, use I in place of R in the formula. If the consumer price index is given, then it will be sigma I into W. But basically, we have this. Now, coming to this, the prices in the base year is given as food 100, clothing 20, fuel 15, house rent 30, miscellaneous 35. For P1, it's 200. See, food has increased from 100 to 200, clothing from 20 to 25, fuel from 15 to 20, house rent 30 to 40, miscellaneous 35 to 65. So the prices have risen, as we can see. Now the weights are given. So we first work out the price relative, that is P1, that is 200 upon 100 into 100. Then we do 25 upon 20 into 100. Then 20 upon 15 for fuel into 100, but that is 133.33. House rent is then P1 is 40 upon 30 into 100 is 133.33, and then miscellaneous is what is 65 divided by 35 into 100, that is 185.71. So then once we get the relatives, we are going to take the weights into price relative. So what is it? So 75 into 200 is 15,000, and 10 into 125 is 1,250, and so on. And then the next we do is we will sum them up. When we sum it up, we get 18,459.47, and we sum up the weights. What is the summation of weights is equal to 175 plus 10 plus 5, etc. So this is how we work out, that is, and what we get is 184.59. That means there has been an increase in the expenditure over the years from 80, that is, the increase is 84.59 approximately. So if it was in the last class we did the aggregative expenditure method, in which what we did was we took P1 into Q0, that is P1 into weights, P1 into weights, and then P0 into weights, that's it, into 100. So with this, I want you to write it down in your notebooks, and please do the calculations yourself and see. Hopefully I haven't made a mistake. Just check for that. Surely do that. It's always nice to find out mistakes done by somebody else. So if there is none, this is the correct answer. And then go and open your books. From the book, please do an illustration, and then you can do the one from the exercise.